This is the Piss and Talk Show, starring me, Josh Cox, and my buddy Carlo. We are hilarious if you're into OCR stuff. Guess what? That is what we are talking about. Let's all get weird now. This is the Piss and Talk Show.
Play the song. Yeah, it's fitting because, well, I mean,
I don't know this song.
I know you don't, and it's hilarious to watch you listen to it.
Welcome to Atlanta, Jack and Hammers and Bows.
See, it's funny because it's Atlanta. And welcome to Atlanta.
That's where we were.
The World's Toughest Mudder was in Atlanta.
No, we're not there now.
Just outside of Atlanta.
We were there.
This is the Vivint Brewery's Wizard Burial Ground. A bourbon barrel-aged quadruple ale.
You're gonna hate it.
It's 11.8%.
You're gonna hate it so much.
Aardvark Big Vagina.
The label is ominous. That's kind of creepy.
Oh.
I like how you turned it around and it's just the same thing.
But my hand's not in the way this way.
Hey, who got this for you?
Stu Harvey Brown, I believe.
Yeah, do you? Are you sure? Someone could be real fucking pissed watching this going, that asshole.
Cheersies.
Cheersies, man. Oh, no.
That's pretty bourbony.
I shouldn't need a chaser for a beer. Oh, boy.
I can see where someone might like this.
I can see why this kills wizards. Wizard burial ground, for sure. Let's get,
Welcome.
Man, you couldn't get a better beer to fucking kick off our World's Toughest Mudder 2018 episode. This is what we gotta bring this in with.
Oh, this is, it really, I mean, if you're into bourbon-aged ale.
Look at this beer. Isn't it neat?
Welcome. Oh my gosh.
To Atlanta.
I took off my shit. Hold on.
Why did you do that? Now you're official.
You know what this got me? Fucking everything.
I thought you were gonna say Wade.
This got me, no. This is the World's Toughest Mudder 2018 recap.
Yeah.
And I still think we made, with this episode, I think we have more episodes, thanks buddy, than that Toughest Mudder live show that they tried to do.
Hey, if y'all need to re-up the show with two originators of this shit,
right?
You know where to find us. Sonoma County.
Yeah, that's where we are.
Yeah. Did you say there's only going to be one more of the top?
Yeah, that's going to be the end. They're doing one more. They're doing a WTM episode, and then they're not going to do it next year.
Well, because you know why?
Because they couldn't compete with us.
They're going to bring us on.
Yeah.
Right? Y'all want some contract negotiations? Tough Mudder, holler at your boys.
Come on.
Let's give them a taste of what they're in for. Carlo, show them what's happening.
It's on. What are we talking about? We don't know because we don't rehearse.
Yeah, I got nothing. I was hoping you would feed off the excitement.
This is what we're going to do. This year was a little different. Last year, I was there, Josh wasn't.
Right.
This year we were both there.
But in two different capacities. You were on the media production side of things.
Under the ropes.
I was on the participant side of things. Under the cold.
Yeah, don't think I wasn't cold.
Well, it takes a Mudder Village and everyone
definitely does.
Playing their role. Let's do a speed review of registration. What'd you think?
Oh, I was there on Friday. It had been raining all day Thursday, all day Friday.
So muddy.
It taught me to go to Target and buy a pair of rubber boots. Single greatest invention that anyone's ever made, and thanks to those, I survived because my shoes were completely soaked through. Don't know how you did it. What?
The single greatest invention of all time? Yeah? Polio vaccination, fuck it. Rubber boots, bros?
Okay, maybe not the single greatest.
Just
you about to drink some more?
No.
Looking like you're about to. You gonna try it?
Yeah, I've been drinking it.
Cheersies!
Cheersies.
This really is not good. I don't like it at all.
It's not. No, who orders this for joy?
Heathens.
Heathens.
So registration was the first chance to see people. Talk for a couple seconds. I gotta go grab something. I forgot.
I'll hold the show down.
Yeah.
I am going to say something, though, and I expect you to agree with me.
Yeah.
I'm just going to say from a participant standpoint, we could do better shirts than those finisher shirts.
Oh, yeah.
Right? Yeah. Just saying. Something to differentiate it from a normal Tough Mudder, because on the outside it just looks like you just did a regular Tough Mudder until you read the fine print. I don't know. That's just me being a baby, though.
So for those of you who don't know, I covered the event brilliantly.
Not enough me.
For World's Toughest Podcast.
Not enough me.
For Will Hicks.
We can all agree.
And I saw Will for the first time on Friday. He said, dude, I got you a little something for helping me out. And someone had told me, like, he got you a dry robe. And I felt kind of weird because I was like, I only have a dry robe. I saw Will, he said, hey, come here, I'm going to show you what I got you. And I was like, dude, if it's a dry robe, I've already got one. Totally deadpan. He's like, not like this. The world's toughest podcast logo on the front.
Nice.
And my name on the back with the world's toughest podcast logo.
I want to do work for you so that I can get a dry rub.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You should.
Will, this is my audition. Hey, this is Josh Cox here. I got the job! Woohoo!
Merry Christmas. I'm giving you this dry rub.
Will you embroider my name on it?
Nope. I was trying to be more ceremonious, but no.
No, this
That's-
is exactly how this shit needs to go down.
So that's for you.
Thank you, man. Seriously,
Honestly.
because I was trying to figure out, like, I was like, all right, I gotta put some funds aside to get one of these since doing more cold weather stuff is
Not
in the future.
anymore, you don't.
Fuck, I love you.
I know.
Sorry about my gross beer breath because this beer is
This is horrible beer. Why do I keep trying to drink this?
It's terrible.
By the way, raise your hand if you saw a Prius anywhere during your time in Atlanta. Spoiler alert, you didn't.
Raise your hand if you saw way more cars than you were comfortable with parked off to the side of the road on the freeways.
Yes.
It made me uncomfortable. So much for a speed review on registration.
Course review, course review, course review.
All credit for footage of the obstacles goes to the team at Obstacle Racing Media.
We're at the start line.
We are.
We're all hyped. You guys are in the start chute.
Yeah.
I'm at the top of the hill underneath the mutter horn. Sean Corbell taking the dreaded knee, and I'm like, haha, I'm not on my knee. 3, 2, 1. All of you come charging up the hill, and by charging, I mean you were kind of jogging, and that's fine.
Visualizing.
Yeah. That's me and Margaret Schlechter from the Mud Run Guide, and Matt B. Davis is up there, and we're like, yeah.
Are you
And-
getting to a question, or what's
yeah,
the deal?
well, here's the thing.
Okay.
You guys are all go, go, go,
Yeah.
go, go. There's like 1,600 of you. Darth Vader brings up the rear, and they go through, and you all get out of sight. And I was like, what do we do? So that was kind of the weird part for me, was like, shit, now what?
I ran.
You did.
I ran so far away. The sprint lap, 2 points. 1, I literally said out loud, everyone enjoy this. This is going to be the last time we're warm. And I gave myself that moment of being like,
You weren't wrong.
this is nice. Because there was a point where I'm like, I want to take off some layers. And then the back of my brain was like, you'll die. And then the second thing was we all found out that that mud was deceiving as fuck. Because there are so many points where the mud, you're like, oh, okay, yeah, I can just trample through that. It was like you were on buttered shoes at an ice rink. And you had no idea why.
Buttered shoes. Nice.
Because it was it didn't look deep or treacherous
Yeah.
or all goopy or anything. You're just like, oh, that's just,
Whoa.
if I was home, I would just run right through that, no problem. This Georgia mud just gave you a big old slippery middle finger and stuck it right in your hoo hole. Well, me, I don't know about anybody else.
Glad I
but
missed that.
Yeah, something went up my hoo hole. It was a crazy course.
You did have Justin in your pit.
That's true. I have nothing to say to that. So that set the tone
All right.
for after the sprint lap so that we could get started. Although we didn't get to obstacles until almost fucking 2 laps
I
in.
was going to say, how many laps, what was the first obstacle you had to do?
Oh shit, that's a good question. Oh, I don't know anymore.
Captivating TV, right?
I know. I can't remember. I just remember
All right.
not doing a lot and feeling
Right.
like this is nice right now. Let's just
Like-
go down the line, man.
Oh, here we go. Here we go.
That's
Here we go.
hydrophobia.
Hydrophobia.
Yeah.
So I never saw hydrophobia. Tell me about it.
Hydrophobia wasn't that bad. It just sucked when you were cold. It was the tubes that
You
then
kinda
you go
crawl
in.
through.
And it wasn't bad. There was nothing. It was
It's-
just shitty when you were tired and you're like,
It seemed like the hardest part that I saw was just climbing into it was
Yeah.
difficult. Tall people especially were like having a hard time getting
oh,
in
for
there.
sure. I just shampooed myself, bent my waist over the front, and then would just
I did see a lot of feet sticking out, like kicking
just,
like
yes. Oh, totally. That was out every time. Like, 'cause I'm just like, this is awkward any other way. Fuck it.
Yeah. Ooh, okay. So then once you got past that, Twin Peaks, which for those of you that know, it's the 2 like little A-frames and you had to jump from one to the other with the ropes. I really enjoyed this. I spent some time.
Did you?
I spent
Did you
some time.
really enjoy it?
Well, I enjoyed videoing it. Dude, this
Oh,
is
I
again,
bet you
This
did.
goes back to this. I walked up to the bottom of it, and there was the lifeguard guy there, and I was like, hey, man, do you mind if I just take some video for, whatever? Oh, dude, you have one of those passes? Go back behind there. There's a ladder. You can go up top on the ladder and video from up top.
Oh, Jesus.
Don't mind if
I
I...
will.
And literally, it was like a little ladder tied off to the structure.
I don't...
That was...
How do you always look taller than me? You just have all the angles down, is all I'm saying.
Exactly.
Dude, did you see anybody get fucked up?
Actually, I saw Deanna Braz take a pretty good...
I heard that
Take a pretty good fall.
she gnarled up on that.
I was filming for a while. I was doing live stream. I was like, okay, I'll get out of here. Then I'd look and go, oh, there's some contenders coming through, so I'll just watch them. And yeah, I saw Deanna go in pretty hard.
She goes hard in the paint. and Twin Peaks.
She had her elbows high. What did you think of the obstacle? You actually did it. I didn't do shit.
Yeah. What it made me realize is that I need to work on my flexibility.
It is definitely, your hip flexors took a little bit of a beating on those, right?
So I'm going down,
Yep.
and I'm holding on to the rope, and then I get to the bottom of it, and I'm holding myself like, I got this, it's fine. And then I get there, and then I see everyone's just doing the splits, and the people up top are like, so now just reach your leg
It's
over.
always the people
Yeah.
who aren't doing it.
And I'm like hanging on my rope like, I can't do that.
Right.
I had to lower myself with one arm and then grab the rope.
Yeah, the
As
rope?
I'm
Yeah.
hanging on like one arm and leg, I'm getting you out of the frame. I literally jumped and was like, hope I grab it. And I heard a guy at the top go, ah! He's not gonna make it. He's not gonna make it. He's not
Yeah.
gonna make it. He made it.
It's one of those ones where if you ate shit,
It's bad.
it's bad. You exactly. It was literally like bunk, 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 and then down they went. And you were like,
I will love to do that on a regular course.
I think because you do it once. That's what I found about some of the new obstacles. I was like, dude, at a regular Tough Mudder, this would be awesome because I'm doing it once and then I'm moving on.
Yeah.
Doing it 10 times,
Not so much.
from there,
We went spread eagle.
And so now this is what I learned from watching Spread Eagle.
What'd you learn, big fella?
2 schools of thought on this. There were those of you that went kind of with the wide leg, feet hooked, pulled yourself along.
Ready for the world.
Right? Pulled yourself
Come to
along.
get me, mama.
Then there was the school that went, no. Don't waste your upper body. Lay perpendicular to the straps and just roll. I actually talked to Ryan Atkins about this. He was like, I understand the rolling idea. When you come up to the obstacle and like 2 people are rolling and now 70% of the obstacle is taken up by people who are rolling slowly. Could you not?
But I mean, what does Ryan Atkins know? I agree in that it feels like it would be the obstacle equivalent of double parking. We're just like, good for you, but you're taking up a lot of space there.
Although some people swear, I mean, did you try both ways or what did
I
you
never
do?
did the rolling, but the thing was, I never felt like I needed to. There's never a point where I was like, man, what's an alternative to this easy way to get across this obstacle? It was one of the fun ones where you're just like, no matter how tired I am. It was great because you got to lie down for a minute. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And I imagine once you had your wetsuit on, you slipped pretty good.
Oh, dude.
What lap did you put wetsuit on?
Oh, 2.
Oh, you were lap 2.
Immediately.
You were like, it's on.
Oh, for sure. Once you get running,
Right.
it's like, I actually feel pretty good. All I could think about was not how good I felt, but how cold I was going to be and how I would
That's
want
smart.
a wetsuit on immediately, and boy, did I not regret it.
Oh, Augustus Gloop 2.0. So I was really excited to see this.
Were ya?
Because I thought, ooh, how could they improve this? And I'll be honest, I was disappointed. It was literally just the plywood wall with the holes cut in it. And just they didn't even have to have the tubes.
Right.
Like-
Because they were flimsy, they went all
Yeah,
over the
they
place.
went over the place.
Like, I definitely wasn't an improvement. The whole tube was awesome. And I think I get where they were going with the half tube, trying to confine the space, but they can't have it tight because that's a safety hazard.
Sure.
And so it was a slight fail, but it wasn't an experience ruiner. It was just one of the,
Yeah.
when you have the ability to compare Augustus Gloop 1.0 to Augustus Gloop 2.0, we can clearly say Augustus Gloop 1.0 was the ticket item.
I couldn't agree more. Black Widow.
Another one that was fun, even
I
when
en-
you were tired.
It wasn't really hard.
No.
Right, you
Which
just
is
kinda-
why it was fun.
It's just slack lines in all different angles.
You had to like kind of duck under and grab, like go from grabbing one strap to a different one. So I could see things getting tricky if you're tired or delirious. But other than that, it was pretty much like you could take your time and still make it across
Okay.
pretty well. It was just a good time. Like comparatively to all the things that suck, you're like, I can handle this.
Funky Monkey Revolution. Do you have any stories about that? Because we know what that
None
is.
at all.
Ladder to Hell, we've all done.
You see one ladder to hell, you see them all.
You really have. Oh, Underwater Tunnel. I never saw that. Underwater Tunnels.
Underwater tunnels, all that was a portion where you went into the lake and went under the blue barrels.
Oh, they actually sent you into one of the lakes.
Yeah, the thing,
Okay,
the
I
thing
never
that
saw
you've
that.
done a million times.
We did that in Sacramento.
Yeah,
With all the goose poop.
That was underwater tunnels. But it sucked when you were like,
When it's 3 a.m. and it's
yeah.
you get your headlamp and you're secure your headlamp. I don't care what obstacle you're on. Secure your headlamp. The amount of people who came up out of water that were like, I can't find my headlamp. I can't find my... It was unbelievable.
I'd never done it, and one of our amazing pit crew, Sam, who is part of the Canadians.
Oh yeah, the guy's right across the way from you.
He was like, hey, we got some extra string. You need to tie your headlamp to your bib. And I was like, I will not argue that. I haven't done that, but yeah, let's do that.
Oh, cage crawl, of course.
Cage crawl.
Although I was told from people who came back around that cage crawl had some of the coldest water out there. Is that true?
I can't contradict that, but I didn't notice.
You were just cold.
It just seemed like the same water temperature as all the rest of the water to me, but like I wouldn't doubt it. I do know that it was nice going up to it every time and it being a little less deep. The last lap when it was before they closed it, this is like I can walk through this thing almost. This is great.
Nice.
I mean, not really, but you know what I mean.
I did walk out and see trench warfare, which is just the tunnels that I imagine that'd be kind of warm.
It was, and I tell you what. And I can't be the only one who felt this way. There was like a point at like 4 a.m. where I'm climbing through this thing. I so bad just want to lay down in here right now. All I wanted to do because it felt warm.
You were under the ground, they had plywood on top, and they put the hay on top.
Wind.
So it was insulated.
Yeah, so
Yes.
you're like, this is a really nice spot to be. And then the thing that stopped me, what would that look like to someone behind me?
Dead body in trench warfare.
And they just see
Dead
someone-
body.
But if it wasn't for that, I would have
Yeah.
laid down and been like, hey, just can you close this lane? Can you close the first lane? I'm just going to chill.
Coxy sleepy lane.
On the 2 laps where I was cramping, I dreaded this obstacle because my inner thighs were cramping. And so the moment I got on all 4s and was pushing off of the knees, my inner thighs were like, not today, motherfucker! Every time, always, every fucking time, there would be someone behind me, and I'd be like, oh, God, great. And I'd be
Gotta
doing
keep
that
moving.
like,
You can't-
yeah.
don't wanna
I
slow
can't
down.
just sit- and I'd be, oh, sorry, I'm so sorry, I'm trying to work through cramps. And they're like, oh, you're fine, man, take your time. And everybody would be super nice about it. But I'm just going, they're like, this is the worst. And then finally I'd get out. Oh, God, it's trench warfare. It was an obstacle that shouldn't have been
Simple
a nightmare,
enough, right.
But it was for 2 laps for me. What we got next?
So daytime-wise, you kept moving along, and then you hit Quagmire, which we've all done Quagmire.
Which this one was nothing.
Not super Quagmire.
And that was nice.
Yes, and thank you,
Yeah.
HQ. So Block Ness, which we all love.
I didn't mind it because if
How-
no one was there, I had no problem getting over
Was
it
it
by myself.
How deep was it?
It was deep enough to where I was having a really hard time getting
Helping when you
leverage
push?
and push. And then it was giving me a hard time jumping, to get out of the water because I'm a medium-heighted fella. Towards the end, I think some of the water had come out because I found it easier to pull. Because there was a couple laps where it was just me. I am the only one here. I'm not waiting. And it was easy. It was nice. It was fine.
Easy,
Everything though.
nice, fine, got it.
Yeah, like all the other obstacles that weren't that bad but had water, they
Yeah.
had water.
Then we got to what I consider like the deal breaker part of the course.
Man.
So the gauntlet, right? So
Yeah.
for those of you who don't know, and why wouldn't you? You started with a balance beam, right? To rings, I believe.
Yeah.
Right?
Which then went to a rope with a base on it. And then it went to what? Just the tip and Gutbuster, right?
So the other thing that was cool though is the Gutbuster. Did you notice they had the, and I love this. I
I call
like
this the Carlo rule.
So they, yes, thank you. There was like 4 different lanes, 2 of which were for people 5'8" and above, and 2 of which were 5'8" and below. And I was like, thank you.
Every time.
The shorties.
Yeah.
They're like,
they do,
"What
Carlo." The reason why I never got to do the gauntlet
Oh yeah.
was because I missed it the first couple laps because it still
was
wasn't
closed.
open by the time I did my set. Yeah, I was like, yeah.
Awesome. Thank you.
And then 3rd lap, I was a dum-dum and I missed the fucking balance beam.
I'm not good on the balance beam.
I'm hit or miss. Sometimes I'm like, oh yeah, no problem. And then this time I was like, why can't I do this to save my life?
If you missed, like say the balance beam and had to do a penalty, does that
Right.
count for the whole gauntlet?
Yeah.
Or do you have to come back and
Well,
then
and that was the thing why, because the moment I fell off of the balance beam, you can't go back and start over, like, penalty. Like, that's it.
All
Like,
right.
you're done.
And so it's 1 penalty for any one of those things you fail.
Right. So
And it
for the
ended with-
gauntlet, no, yeah, you have to do the whole thing to pass it. And if you fall in the middle,
Right.
sorry about it. You have to do the penalty. It's a long ass distance.
It wasn't, and I remember
Yeah.
that big open field. You
Yeah.
went out and came back, right? That
Yeah.
was it.
I didn't get to do that because it wasn't open until I got to my 3rd lap. I fell off of the balance beam. And then by the time I got to it on the next lap, I made it across the balance beam, but I was frozen already. Nothing is happening. Nothing.
Yep.
So I just stepped off and did the penalty and was like, I can't wait to do you at a regular Tough Mudder.
So here's a little tricky trick you don't know about, because I was out there in the weird hours of the morning.
Tell me
So,
about it.
like 4 a.m. or so, there was like 7 different obstacles that got shut down because of the frost. Everything was freezing over. Well, what was neat was no one on course knew right away those things were shut down. And you have the option of doing the electrified route or doing the gauntlet route. So people who were going the electrified route, it was a distance. You had to go through 3 electrified obstacles. We can go into that. Of course, they weren't telling you the gauntlet was shut down. So people who were still cool with trying the gauntlet, got to it, and they were like, it's closed. Sorry. You don't have to take the penalty. You can just walk right on by.
I remember getting there and being one of the people that they were like, closed, no penalty. And then a hero comes along.
Right?
And then just going through and they're like, leap of faith still open. And you're like, damn it.
That was the shitty part. Yeah. Did you ever do the electrified route?
No, but I contemplated it. I almost did it, and I would have.
It wasn't those meddling kids and that dog.
In that damn dog of
Yeah.
theirs. I would have if I didn't have a game plan of just because my whole goal is to survive.
Survive.
My whole goal was to survive and make it the 24 hours and like earn the black headband. And I did it, and I had a game plan, and it had nothing to do with electricity. And we didn't say this, I got 35 miles. But there was a moment where I was like, I might do this because this doesn't look too bad given that everything sucks, so why not? That'd be kind of nice to skip all those obstacles just to do the blah, blah, blah. So I'll say this, next year I have an expectation to get 50. Like I didn't have that for this one, but having done this one and kind of knowing what to deal with, I expect that now. And I would do the electricity thing next time if it were presented. Granted, they'll probably do different stuff.
All right. Oh, leap of faith. You jump off the thing, you grab the cargo net, you climb up to the pole.
And then you fireman slide down.
But it's an angled pole. And what I did see, and I thought for a while, it was literally going to ruin his race. I saw Trevor Psychos pretty much rupture a testicle.
Boom!
I don't think he actually did.
And if he did, that's all the more impressive that he got 100 miles.
He got to the thing and he was sliding down, and he just kind of slipped, and there was the pole, and he just free slid down and went, "Hutbah."
I found myself like feeling like, okay, get ready to go, and then all of a sudden you're just there at the bottom.
As soon as you loosened up, it was like, whoop, down you went.
Yeah.
How were you on the leap? Was it pretty far?
It wasn't that bad.
It seemed pretty far to me, but I'm a shorty.
It seemed far, and I felt that way until I did it, and then each time it was just like, oh,
the key
okay,
from what I can tell, once you grab it, that's not, the battle is getting your foot in. If you get your foot in, you're good. If you're struggling to get your foot in, then you're going to have some trouble, right?
On one of mine, I jumped, and I grabbed it, and I'm cramping, and I'm hanging there, and they're trying to coach me through it. They're like, okay, now lift your leg up, and I'm like, I'm cramping. They're like, oh, okay, we don't know what to do about that.
When you're done cramping, lift your leg up. And you're like,
well,
oh.
And they started to say some shit like that, and I just
Armed
the body pull up,
nice.
and you could hear them. They're like, okay, so now just do that.
Use your brute strength. Good job. That was my next thing. Good job. All right. So then, of course, there's Everest, which, by the way, did you get pulled up at all by Darth Vader?
Did.
Darth Vader was there for like 20 hours. It was him and Francis Lackner and another gentleman whose name I can't remember, unfortunately.
And they put the fear of God in you.
Dude.
No one has failed me!
Yes.
And no one will fail me now!
I think I saw you there, right? I ran into you there.
It took me 3 tries. Shit, man. I'm like, cool, let's act like
Darth
I'm
was
here
flat out yelling at people in a very kind but like Father Stern kind of way.
Oh, for sure.
Where
Like,
are you going? No one has failed on my route.
Right.
No one. Let's go.
Finally grabbing his beef hook of a hand.
Heavens.
Hand of God just...
Yes.
I've got you, my child.
Yes.
Thank you, Darth.
And then elevator to the heavens.
Just fucking threw you
Yeah.
across. Continue with your race.
I haven't seen Darth in about a year, I guess. He's a large, like he's an NFL caliber sized body.
Just a massive man.
Seriously,
Like you have all the faith will get you up.
I wanted to crawl
Can
up
I
on him
just lay next
while he's pulling
to you?
people up. I just want to lay next to him and just sleep.
You make me feel so safe.
That's what I'm saying. Mud Mile 2.0 was next, and it was muddy.
It wasn't as bad as Sonoma.
Oh my god, that one was bullshit.
Dude, Sonoma was the worst.
Look how deep we could make it.
Dude.
Fuck
And
you.
let's make it so the walls never get run
They
down.
didn't.
Ever.
No.
And they did get run down on this, and it was nice.
Isn't that the best?
This had the warmest water at one point because there was lights next to it. It had to have something to do with it because you got to that water, and you're like, this is nice right here.
This is just a lot of pee.
If it was pee,
All right.
I don't care. If it was pee,
Doesn't matter.
It
It doesn't
doesn't
matter.
matter at all. Warm in here. Warm
Yes,
in here.
I've seen that on Pornhub. But what? So T-boned, I was like, what the hell is that? But then that's just the Berlin
Shitty.
Wall with the...
Yeah.
They had that at Worlds last year. I can see where if that got Frosty, that would really suck.
Yeah.
That was a must complete obstacle last year. You came to it and were like,
Yeah, it was just a punch in the dick. Where
Yeah,
you're like,
yeah.
I don't want to muscle up a fucking
almost like Stage
wall.
5 Clinger used to be when they had that.
This isn't the worst.
Someone
but
please
it
help me.
sucks.
So then we go skid marks, which we've all done.
My only highlight from that one
Yeah.
was on one of my laps, and it was during one of the extra shitty laps.
We all had those.
I helped up a couple people. Guy behind me, he's like, all right, man, you've been helping some people up. You want to go? And I was like, okay, sure. I got it, though. I jumped up. It was fine. I got up there, and
Yeah.
I heard him go, man, you're strong. Thanks.
I am kind of strong.
I've been trying
Exactly.
to be like, and
been
it's
like-
really made my day. One of those minor, just little
Thank
boosts.
you.
You're
Yeah.
like, yeah. And that immediately hit my balls as I swung my legs over. But
No.
you know what? Didn't ruin the moment, sir, whoever you are.
Dude, Trevor got 100 miles with broken balls.
Dude,
Or
right?
broken ball. Someone said, dude, I saw Trevor on course. He thinks he has a ruptured nut. And I
Hot
was like,
take. Chris sabotaged that pole. Mendoza Kerrigan Psychos.
Is that what it
You
was?
heard it here
You heard it
first.
first.
You heard it here first.
That's right. From Josh. So then, okay, here's the thing. Here's what I'm getting at. You have to help me
Oh,
out.
you
here.
mean my least favorite obstacle
Hold on,
of the whole thing?
hold on. Now, as someone who walked by it numerous times,
Yeah.
going like, whatever, and
Uh-huh.
someone who sees it on course who goes, whatever, turns out a lot of people
Not whatever.
have a lot of disdain for Lumberjacked.
The worst
But why?
obstacle there.
Why? I don't get it.
There was so many of them, number one.
And it's just the logs that you have to go over, right?
Right, but you know how like at regular Tough Mudders, they'll go through the tier of up, it's low,
Yep.
getting a little higher.
Yep.
Ooh,
Maybe
this
go
one's real high. Yeah, maybe go under one.
Yeah.
They were all head height, like
Ooh.
right here, all of them. It was just so awkward getting up and over it. The logs were wide enough to where so
it
many
good.
times I'd be like, oh, I got it. I don't got it. I don't got it. And someone would be under, like, no, we got you. We got you. We got you.
Okay.
Just repeatedly over and over and over again. It was one of those where it wasn't the most extravagant. It was just degrading at how tiring it
Because
was.
I heard a lot of people were like,
Dude.
really like, fuck that thing. And I couldn't understand why, from not being able to do it.
It was just high enough and just wide enough to where you couldn't do the muscle up, swing over. Even using the sides, there's so much where you had to like, okay, there we, oh god. The worst
There you go.
fucking obstacle on this course.
And that's the thing. When I finally saw what it was, I was like, that's the one everyone's bitching about?
yeah,
Like,
but keyword everyone.
Yes. So, wait, this says pyramid scheme, but doesn't that mean
It was happy ending.
Happy ending?
And it was easy.
They had ropes coming down and
Had
stuff?
ropes. It
In
was
the
a
water.
gimme obstacle where
Right.
you're just like, okay, here we go.
So then I assume Kissing About 2.0 is just crawling under the barbed wire?
Yes, but I will say
Tell me.
that it
Muddy?
precluded my least favorite stretch of mud
Oh!
in the whole course.
So, okay, I'm glad you said that. Here's what I noticed. I went up to Mudderhorn at like, I don't know, everything seems like 3 or 4 in the morning. Everybody coming up is
Looked
like
fucked up.
super slick with mud. So I didn't realize Kissing Mud 2.0
So it
was
was
right before it, right? Up
Kiss
the
of
hill.
mud, and then you go up this hill, and the mud didn't look like much, but you were slipping and sliding.
Were you?
I had to hold on to the fence, or else my feet were just. It was caked with mud. I clearly wasn't the only one holding on to
grabbing that
thing
shit.
for dear life. You
Using
know?
natural resources.
And then you got up there, and then to go down, I called it Pinball Alley because you basically had to shoot yourself from tree to tree because the mud and everything was so slick and wet, and it was such a steep downgrade. I'm just gonna shoot myself. I'm gonna Sonny Bono myself towards that tree, catch it, and we're just gonna keep going. Every tree you get to, caked in mud, so everyone's just
grabbing the
doing
trees.
that.
The Mudderhorn thing, I actually got some footage where I was there for about 15 minutes just filming people going through. What a nightmare. If you got there by yourself, you were just
Right.
hanging out till someone showed up.
Right.
Because you weren't going up.
That was the thing that I didn't like about it, and I say that with an asterisk, was that knowing coming up on it, there was not a chance that I was going to be able to do it by myself. Because I didn't feel like that with any other obstacle, whether it was the penalty or the obstacle itself. I didn't
Right.
feel like I couldn't make it through whatever was ahead of me. But this one, you were like, I cannot
Right.
get over that wall without the help of someone. Got it dialed down to a system where every time I came up to it, it would be a few of us, and
You got
we'd
me? I got
set
you?
the pyramid and hand on the head.
Yeah, totally.
Feet
Face
on the
to like,
shoulder.
"Oh, you're fine. You're fine, bro. You're fine.
At least one pair of balls.
I imagine. You have in your wetsuit, I see.
Yeah. At the same time, you're like, this is what we're here for.
Now I've
It's
got
the
pink eye.
nature of the game. And then just climbing up it, it wasn't the hardest thing in the world. It was just kind of shitty at that point.
I don't
So
wanna
slow.
this.
The course sucked so much, I didn't even care about the heights of it. I'm not a heights guy. There was not one point where I was like, fuck the heights of this thing.
Get up.
This just sucks.
Get
I
up,
don't even
flip
care.
over, get down.
I don't
Yeah.
even care. Hey, let's go back to the stacks.
Oh yeah.
I want to say something that I feel like isn't going to be met with the greens. The stacks, to me, looked less intimidating than the cliff did. To me. I said that a few times and no one agreed with me, and I'm not going to convince anyone because it's unconvincible.
I didn't get a chance to do it, but I got to see it.
I didn't get a chance to do it either. Conveniently, I missed it, or Golden Carabiner through it.
Ah,
And
there you
that
go.
was nice.
I know you got a Golden Carabiner for 25 miles. Did you
Any
get to
other-
go through any of the weird?
No, I just missed the Leap of Faith when that one went weird. Is there like a record number of Golden Carabiners that anybody got? Do we know about that?
I don't know.
You know what I mean? Isn't that a
Yeah.
good question?
Yeah.
Like, did anybody get like 3 or 4 or 5?
That's a good question. I don't
Yeah.
know the answer.
Yeah, some World's Toughest Podcast coverage, huh?
Yeah.
Huh. This is who you want working for you, huh, Will? Huh? Huh?
I'll tell you this much. So much anticipation, right? And it's like 10 to midnight. We're like, oh, we can't wait to cover the start of the stacks. So we're getting ready, and it's like, 3, 2, 1, meh. Stacks is open. And I'm like live streaming. The first person on course to come to the stacks, Ann Clifford.
Oh, no shit.
And you know what she does?
Huh.
She nopes the fuck right out.
I don't blame her.
Followed by the next 3 people.
Yeah.
Everyone just comes up and goes. So we're like filming, like, oh, this is gonna be so awesome. I'm like live streaming.
Yeah.
Here we go. Here comes people. They're gonna do the stacks. And the first like 6 people are like, penalty.
You're like,
penalty.
man, this is not selling
And
this
I'm like,
obstacle
this
at all.
is captivating TV right here.
I do want to say that just because I said it felt like it was less intimidating than the cliff doesn't mean that fucker wasn't
you
intimidating.
do it?
No. The last lap, because I went in at like 5, waited about an hour and a half or so for the rest of our crew that was there to go
warm up
out.
and-
I was going to go, but I so desperately wanted someone. You know
No,
what
dude,
I
I
mean?
absolutely.
I was like, don't pit for too long, but pit for just long enough to know that you're that much closer to daylight. And then when I went in there, Justin was like, you going out for another lap, bro? Yeah.
I'm so
Oh,
glad you
for
said
sure.
bro, because I know he said bro.
Oh, yeah. Oh, absolutely.
I think he's trying to start it. He always brackets bro in all the
yeah.
sentences.
And I love him. He's my bro. And then so it was like 45 minutes after that or something like that. And then actually it was cool because there was a few people in our camp. Emily, one of which who was a first timer
Yeah.
for our group, and she killed it. But she got kind of fucked up after at like 1 a.m. or something like that. So she called her race.
As you do, when it's that cold and that miserable
Dude.
and that, yeah.
But then when we were all rallying, everyone's kind of getting their shit ready, and then you just hear, fine, I'm gonna go.
Exactly.
And we're like, what? And she goes, I'm not gonna be the only one here listening to everyone rally, but
Yes.
they're gonna go
Yes.
out and get their
Good for
final
her.
lap.
Go, Emily, girl.
Honestly.
That's
And
what it's all about.
And she got her stuff on, and she went out, and the entire time she's like, I'm so happy
Dude,
that I
and
did
putting a
this."
frozen wetsuit on,
The worst.
that's not fun.
Oh, the worst.
That's not fun. We should probably congratulate some people. Chris Mendoza.
Yes.
Overall
for
men's
sure.
champion.
We won't talk about everything that happened because there's going to be a
Captivating.
TV special for that.
Captivating, amazing.
If you weren't there, tune into CBS. If you were there, tune into CBS because you know they're going to
It
make
was
that shit TV
there.
gold.
Dun, 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 dun.
Yeah.
That's the noise they use. Dun, dun, dun. It sounds kind of like Stranger Things.
Jesse Bruce, right? Was third.
Not Jesse Owens. He's much faster. Well, not anymore. He's dead. Of course, Ray Coble, she's been like the
Just the
dynamo.
winner of all
Yeah.
times of
And
all
then-
the things. And then Rost
And then Missy came flying through.
took out Allison Tyler. We won't give much away.
The 4-person relay team competition was about as exciting as my vasectomy, by the way. Oh, you done? Okay, cool. Wow, 20 minutes. It's over. Yeah, that's about right.
Dude, you
Those
had
guys.
people in the team category that were like, we placed what?
Will Hicks' team finished 4th. Sorry, we shouldn't laugh. They were great too.
Will Hicks finished fourth!
And then
Not cool, bro.
then there was the 2-person team, which I didn't even realize was happening this year. But it was what's his name? Our buddy Wesley Kerr
Oh, yeah, with Evan
and
Brooklyn.
Evan.
I did run into Wesley at the brunch coming out of the bathroom, as we do, you know.
Oh my God! Sorry, that reminded me of something. Go ahead.
Thanks, I really want to tell my story.
I know. Go ahead.
Are you sure?
No.
No, you do your thing.
All right. So, do you know who Ed Grollo is?
No.
If you saw him, you'd know him. Ed Grollo literally left on the course a kidney stone.
What?
He'd been trying to pass a kidney stone and was out on course and he was like, I gotta pee. Dropped his shit down. Twink.
Dude.
Survive!
I'm
So-
as free as a bird.
Anyway, I cut off your story.
About Wesley, the good doctor.
The good doctor.
Now, I ran into him, and as we haven't announced, but everyone probably knows, that they won the sprint lap.
They did.
Because why not? I was like, Wesley, dude, is this like your new thing? Sprint lap every Worlds, you gotta win it? No. Well, you did 2 in a row. Third time, I mean, people are gonna expect it. And he goes, I didn't want to do it for this one, but Evan said he wanted one, and so
Dude,
we went for
you're
it.
a team.
Like, you know, damn,
I
that
think
is
they got
just-
80 miles.
Sounds about right.
Takeaways from World Stephens Matter 2018. Take it away, Joshua Cox.
I now fully expect to get 50 miles next year. I'm proud of myself for going the distance, and I've never done anything that cold.
You never
before.
stopped, never stopping.
I never stopped, never stopping.
She said, fuck me like we fucked Bin Laden. Whoa.
It was great to see everyone. There's so many people that I got to share glorious moments with that we didn't get the chance to talk about. We haven't said this. A big fuck you to the Weather Advisory Committee for sending out a big old warning the night before.
The frost warning.
Yeah, they're like, by the way, tomorrow from 9 p.m. to 9 a.m.
Slight chance.
Do your best to take care of your vegetation, and whatever you do,
Put blankets over your
don't
roses.
Go outside.
Yes.
Stay warm, stay dry. This'll pass. Just make it through the weekend. Trying to go to bed.
I've got my shoes and rubber boots right now.
What are your takeaways from it?
So my
You're in.
takeaways were it was quite a different perspective to see it from like the pit crew / media angle. Part of me missed being out there. A very small part. Like once it started and the weather was turning, I was like, I don't regret skipping this year of all the
No
years.
regrets, dude.
No,
Right?
not one letter. How about going into next year?
I want to do Minnesota's toughest.
See, I think I want to do that one too.
Yeah.
And it's 12 hours now instead of 8.
I know, and I like that.
I do too.
I like that a lot.
You know who doesn't like that? The elites. Because they said something to the effect of like, the 8-hour toughest, because it's like a 6-hour training run, just you have to run 2 hours longer. In my head, I was like, you have a 6-hour training run?
How about that makes me like the 12-hour format even more? Good. You should be like, fuck. I don't want you going into this going, it's like a 6-hour training run, but 2 additional hours. No biggie. Fuck you. It's 12 hours now, you elites.
I've never had a 6-hour training run in my life.
I know, right? A 6-hour training run is a run I paid money to be there
Yeah,
for.
exactly. It's called a marathon, probably, or something.
It's just like 2 6-hour training runs put together back to
Yeah,
back.
exactly, right? I will be at all the toughest in the U.S. next year,
Yeah.
to some capacity, whether media or running. Oh, we're not breaking up or anything.
Yeah, no.
Now, granted, rightfully so.
Right.
You asked us a lot
Valid
about,
to
are you
wonder.
guys still doing episodes and whatever, and we were kind of like, we want to.
And I said it in the live stream, but I've never said it in an episode because it's been forever since we've done one. So the gym that I've been at for 10, almost 11 years now.
Wow.
I know, right? Long ass time. I took over our social media, so I put a lot more time and effort into that, and I actually get paid to make cool videos and pictures and stuff now. If there's a way where I can get paid for this, fuck yeah, let's party.
And as far as the community awards go, completely understandable about the fact that we didn't win an award this year. The previous 3 years,
We were robbed, so who knows? Maybe because, like you said, we're not breaking up.
we still
definitely wanna
intend
do
on
more of this stuff.
generating content.
Yeah, we just
So-
gotta figure out in a way that works for us.
But we do appreciate those of you who came up to us and told us that. you
Yeah,
missed us. That was actually
honestly,
really nice.
Yeah,
In all sincerity.
There's one lady that ran by and said, "I love your show," but it was super cold and I had so much thermal stuff on that
Yeah.
I couldn't really hear her. And it took me until she was far gone for me to realize that she said, "I love your show," and I thought she said, "It's cold," and so I was just like, "Yeah."
Fuck yeah.
So she ran by and was just like, "The guy's a dick."
Totally.
Well, I'm
It was-
sorry if you do love
Yeah.
the show. You're watching this, and you know I didn't hear you right.
I had a woman come up to me and she was like, can I get a picture with you? Because my son absolutely loves your show. He's going to be so jealous that I got a picture with you. And I was like, yeah. And she's like, blip. And I'm like, how old's your son? And I think she said something like, oh, he's like 12. One of the great things about the cold, the only good thing to come out of the cold, porta potties weren't stinky.
You know what did stink? taking that goddamn wetsuit off after peeing in it, probably, not even joking, 20, 30 times. If there was a small child in that tent,
The ammonia would have killed
dude,
him.
oh man, it's chemical warfare in that tent by that point. Before we wrap this up,
Yeah.
I do want to say, since I did have people there that were pitting and stuff, a huge thank you to my girlfriend Michelle for keeping me warm and fed and watered and motivated and inspired and moving. And also the rest of our pit crew, Tammy Tumanello, Maggie Shuck, Abby Moreno, Nicole Brown, and then Justin and Emily, the two other people that actually ran the thing with. They did fantastically, and we're all super stoked for next year. The Canadians that we were with, Rick and Jay and Rachel and Sam, they were phenomenal. Rick and Jay did great in their race, and
So
so
you're saying
did
the
Rachel.
Canadians were nice?
It was just an overall fantastic experience that wouldn't have been nearly as fantastic if it wasn't for those people also going through their own cold battle. It was miserable for everybody. So
Everybody felt it.
yeah, so
Everybody.
not just my pit crew as a big thank you, but a big thank you to every pit crew that went through the wet and the cold, and you were there when everyone needed you, and you were just as integral as getting this race done as the race directors themselves. So thank you.
And the orphan tent, because
yeah.
I spent a lot of time hanging out talking to folks at the orphan tent. They saved me. So Ryan Forney, Phoebe.
Hey, you said you're doing next year, yeah?
Oh, goddamn right.
Bam.
I'll be there. I'll be competing. So will you. I think we're good.
That is it.
Everyone,
let's wrap it now.
if you're American, have a great Thanksgiving. Have a great Christmas. Have a great
Boxing Day.
Yeah, it's so great to see you all. I'm glad you're all thawed out by now, except for those of you in Canada. You're probably still frozen. And we'll see you again next time. Right?
Cheersies!
Cheersies!